they'll know what you're working on. So if I'm working on the pink pig and I'm missing the snout and Jean finds it, she's like, oh, here's the pig, because she knows I was looking for it.
But that's a big pitfall. Or like blocking each other from the piece pile or something like that.
Yeah.
Anybody in particular, any pair in particular in this round you're looking for? Like you're looking to enjoy watching?
There's a lot of really good pairs in this round.
Yeah, right? So name a couple of them.
Well, we're biased because our teammates are here, and that's Mari and Kelly, of course. We've got a lot of Washington and Oregon friends here that we know. We have people from out of state, so I'm not going to name anyone else except our team.
Fair enough.
And excited to see who we don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that I appreciate you guys coming out. We're going to see you again probably once we have a few finishers to kind of get some reflection on what you saw and how you liked it. Thank you so much for joining us on this segment. We'll see you back in a little bit.
Sounds great. Good luck, everybody.
See you soon.
Happy puzzling.
All right. It looks like our internet connection, or our YouTube connection is up and running, so that's great. Welcome, everybody, to the 2026 Portland Jigsaw Masters Duos Heat 1. I think that we'll kick things off right after a quick message.
House of Moods started with one woman, one very big love for design, and a simple idea. Puzzles should be just as beautiful as they are fun to put together. Every puzzle starts with a mood, memory, place, or pop culture moment and becomes a one-of-a-kind collage. More than 60 hours go into the composition and human-made tiny details of each design. The result? A high-quality puzzle that's fun to build and beautiful enough to display. Use code MASTERS20 for 20% off at houseofmoods.com. Happy puzzling!
All right. Would you like to do some in-room chatting there, Jim?
That sounds like a great idea. How about I let everybody know what's going on?
Okay, sure. I mean, we could just say go and start the timer and not let anybody know. Got to put on the official hat.
For those of you who haven't puzzled today, welcome to the Portland Jigsaw Masters 2026 rounds. This is going to be the pairs round. We'll go over a little bit of the rules. There's a 500-piece puzzle in front of you. If there's not, make a loud noise. Cool, if there is a 500-piece puzzle in front of you, make a loud noise. Okay, cool. All right, we're in a good shot. Cool. So as a little bit of house cleaning, you will open that puzzle. You will try to get it done as quickly as possible with the partner across from you. Give your partner a high five real quick. Well done. Cool. Everybody has their partner. Excellent. Cool. Now, if you have a missing piece, there will be a 10-second timer that will go down. It's then a race for you and your partner to find that missing piece and get it in before the 10-second timer goes down. Say cool? This is going to be fun. I'm going to start doing that a lot. All right. Couple other little things. No elbowing, no hair pulling, no tripping your partner. If your partner says something silly, don't flip the table. You're not allowed to flip other people's tables either. Just as little tidbit there. Okay, cool. I want everybody to take a quick look at everybody that is in the high-vis vests over here on the side. These are our judges. Give them a round of applause. They've been doing a great job keeping the times rolling along, and a special announcement and a special fantastic cheer for Andrew Weatherly, our head judge, the enforcer. The top 30 pairs from this round will advance into the final. So puzzle fast, we are rooting for you. As a reminder, there is a social tonight at Spirit of 77 after the conclusion of the event. So please head on over there and have some more fun puzzling as we go along. With that said, are there any questions, concerns, comments, things to make fun of me for? Nice hat, thank you very much. All right, cool. With that said, get into puzzling position, because I'm going to bring Andrew up, and he is going to give the official countdown very rapidly.
Thanks, Jim. All right, everybody. Gonna start it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's puzzle.
And we are off in the pairs round 1 of the Portland Jigsaw Masters. Finishing out the day with another partner is always fantastic.
And speaking of partners, I'm Rob Shields, and this is Jim Eakins, partners on this stream and all the streams for the rest of the weekend at the 2026 Portland Jigsaw Masters. We're off and running here, which is exciting. We've got a bunch of pairs. The energy in the room, Jim, noticeably increased.
Yeah, I think that happens whenever you get to have, sort of like what Gene and Kathy were saying earlier, you have somebody there to bounce a lot of ideas off of, and it makes it for a really fun event. Let's take a look at this puzzle. We are seeing a lot of pairs start off on this flip and sort. This is going to be a real tricky one, I think, and I'm always fascinated by how this, how pairs end up doing this particular stage. I do want to point out in the chat, we have up to 10 minutes to make a guess as to how long you think it's going to take to solve this puzzle.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, because we haven't actually been able to we're doing a lot of fun, different, and exciting trying of new things during this live stream over the course of the weekend. One of the things that we're doing is a pre-show that starts 10 minutes in advance. We're struggling a little bit with YouTube to get it to recognize that we're actually starting in advance, so you've already missed some exciting banter from Kathy and Gene Reuter. But do tune in next time from the streams 10 minutes in advance to hear some other analysis and discussion and us generally sucking the information out of experts' heads before we get started with the round. Jim, what do you think about this puzzle?
I think that this is going to be absolutely bananas. to me, this is a really
I don't
difficult.
see any bananas.
This is a really difficult puzzle. The bananas are all internal.
Oh.
I know that we can see a lot of the glasses here. I do think it's interesting that the majority of these glasses do have an orientation on it. Like the first glance at this is really chaotic, but there might be a little bit of orientation game that some of the puzzlers can play around with here. I think that we're going to see teams sort of branch out and sort of decide, are we going to attack this text early, or are we going to try to really get some of these distinct outer border features and try to branch in from here? There's so many different tactics that pairs can use here. I wonder if we're going to see pairs sort of do a lot of dead reckoning or perfect placement of pieces, whereby you try to find a target and put those pieces exactly where they're going to end up. There's a lot of small bits of yellow, like lemons or orange twists, orange peels. So you can divide the labor up that way in terms of getting those individual fruits, placing them. I think that green is one of the really unique colors in here. So if you grab the green, you can set that up for success. But I gotta hand it to you. These hands are going to be really difficult to try to tease your way through, considering the orientations and where they're placed on this image.
So, Jim, when it comes to a pair setup, we talked earlier in the first round about what one does when one is an individual and starting up, setting up their space. Do pairs do it any differently?
I think for pairs, the general baseline is about the same, but the difference is where are you putting that piece pile to make sure that all the puzzlers are going to have access to it when they need it. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, that's Irina and Jessa. I gotta double check their pair's name here. But Irina is working full on in the build field that is on the side that's closest to us, and all of the pieces, the pile, is over here on the other side. And so they've split that up pretty distinctly, so that way there's a very clear build field and a very clear pile field for them to pull from.
Their pair's name is Irina and Jessa.
Oh, well, nailed it.
Nailed it. You just knew how to guess that.
Oh man, it's really it's interesting because I think that there's a really clear division of labor here, where Irina is working fully in on the frame, and it looks like Jessa's doing a little bit of sorting, not so much assembly, but just setting up for success down the line. It looks like maybe a couple of little things here and there. Very similar situation here in the upper left-hand corner with Katie Dilks, who was our expert in one of the previous rounds, and Ashley doing a really good job here. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. You can see that Katie has started going for those green colors early, making them together, those little features. The tricky part here is how do you deliver pieces from this particular brand of puzzle? Because it's a random cut, they don't necessarily stick together really well. So picking them up and delivering, you have to have a couple of techniques for that. I
love that. I'm trying to find out who is in the lower left-hand corner. I think that may be the pieces to be pecked, but in any case, they are using literally the entire table. So at the Portland Jigsaw Masters, one of the great things about this environment is that you do get a table for yourself. That's individuals, pairs, and teams. So I love to see somebody, a team or pair in this case, just taking advantage of the entire thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, we talk a lot about how speed puzzling has these trade-offs. One of the trade-offs when you use a full table like that is that you have to travel a lot more in order to get from one end to the other.
It's true.
And it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but if you multiply an extra half a second for every piece to travel, that's, you know, half a second times 250 if you're half of a pair. That can easily be an extra, you know, 2-3 minutes off your time. But if it saves you time in terms of being able to have the visibility onto those pieces, that goes a long way.
Also, it helps you get your steps in.
Exactly. We've had a couple of people in the chat ask if there's a gradient in the background. I want to point out on this particular image, there are stripes of white that is throughout here. One side might have a little bit more of a light pink. So if you can really distinguish that light background, you're in good shape. But this particular region is going to be really difficult for our puzzlers, along with this zone that's down at the bottom. There is some orange. There is a little bit of orange in this upper zone, but I'm not sure how much that's going to stick out on the pieces. It's really going to depend on how that print shows up on the actual puzzle.
I love the 5 trays in the upper left-hand corner there.
5? Oh wow, that is
6.
6. There are so many. Wow, they have just made a tray of trays. I wonder.
There's more tray than table.
I mean, this puzzle is called Happy Hour. I wonder if they were planning on using those trays to carry drinks later on. But that pair in the upper left-hand corner. They're doing what we call a big sort, which means that they are making a lot of separate piles that will hopefully be really clear and distinct for them to then quickly assemble those chunks and drop them in.
I think there's a hint of a tray down in the lower left-hand corner as well. So maybe 7. This may be just a team of trays. I think that this is just trays dressed up as humans here.
It might be several trays in a trench coat kind of a situation. We can see it as we cross the 7-minute and 30-second line. Irina and Jessa almost have that full border complete. Jessa's also started making a pretty distinct piece pile in that upper left-hand corner on a sorting tray. I think that's a really good use of it whenever you have pairs, because it saves a little space, but it also makes it where a distinct project can all go in at once. My hunch is that is either text or it's going to be this fuzzy arm down in the side. I can't quite get a good look at it yet, though.
So we've talked about text a couple of times now in these rounds. What do you think about the text, approaching the text in this one? So obviously it seems straightforward to pull. What do you think about the assembly of it?
I think the assembly is going to be really difficult. This is one of those situations where the text is very clearly larger than the individual pieces in a lot of ways. So you can't really pick up a piece and go, oh, this is clearly the P or this is clearly the A, because the curvature is sitting a little awkwardly. And so a lot of times whenever you have that kind of situation, you have to use the background a little bit more than just the line of the lines that you're seeing. But you can, I've seen some pairs, some puzzlers, they break it up into, these are the pieces that have only straight bits, or this is the piece that have only curvy bits, and then use the subgroups that way to tease their way out of it. I think in the, I can't quite see the table number for the lower left, but they are also using several sorting trays. One of the, we talk about trade-offs. Using trays can also end up being a case of over-sorting or under-sorting, where you make a big, so let's say you make a big pull of everything that is orange. Well, if you have to subdivide that again into things that are slightly darker orange, slightly brighter orange, you're doing a secondary sort, which means all of those pieces you're touching one more time. But they're doing, it looks like a really tight assessment on there. I know that we still have about 30 seconds to get guesses in for how long this pairs round will finish this puzzle in.
So that's a easy peasy down in the lower left-hand corner. That is Julie Casada and Linnea Nassman.
Okay, I thought that was Linnea.
Yeah, Linnea from Seattle. So tell me a little bit about, I see that Irina was doing the edge. We're seeing some edge down on the easy PC side. We're not seeing a lot of edge in the upper left, nor it looks like on the Kelly Walters and Mari Black side. There's some sections.
Yeah.
So this one seems like a rough one edge-wise. Like usually I'm looking for, is there enough information to assemble this? It's got a lot of small pieces. How do you approach an edge in this scenario?
So, and for working on the edge is very similar to any other part of the puzzle. We think about trying to break down that image into subgroups. Katie Dilks was talking about this in a slightly different way, but the idea is that you try to look at everything that is in that group, and then go, okay, let's say pull out everything that has just a little bit of yellow from this group, or everything that has just that little bit of black. But instead of pulling it into a separate pile, you immediately go, I'm going to assemble those things because they have to go together. There's no other option for that. And so making that really aggressive switch goes a long way. You can see that Mari Black and Kelly Walter here in the upper right, they're doing a lot of checking of the image. You can see their eye lines continually flicking back towards that image consistently. That's going to be paramountly important in order to be successful on a busy image that has so much of the same color throughout it.
So often people will reference the image. A lot of people will try and reduce the amount of time that we talk to reference the image. We talked about that it is a skill that you have to relearn if you go from casual puzzling to competitive puzzling. Is there a rule of thumb in terms of how often you want to be looking at an image? Like this is a just constant up and down. Like I can imagine that could be disorienting, but are there strategies for that? Like how do you, if you're doing a busy sort of pick and place sort of thing, how does the box top or the image relate?
So as with all things, layers. But speed puzzling is a parfait. But it becomes a thing of what is the strategy that you're going for, right? If you're trying to do a lot of dead reckoning, meaning that you're taking a piece and you're dropping it exactly where it goes and you don't want to have a margin of error, spending an extra second or two looking at the image to make sure that accuracy is really good per piece can go a long way, right? However, if you're doing what we sometimes call micro glances, which is where you're not sure where a piece goes, I'm going to take like a half a second to look up and look right back down. Your brain may not have learned the information around that area, and so you end up losing time because you're not memorizing what the larger part of that image looks like.
So are you saying you should linger more when you look up? Like fewer micro glances, and if you're going to glance, like commit?
Well, and that's one of the strategies to employ is that if you intentionally take the time to learn the image, that ends up paying off down the line because you don't need to recheck it as much, right? Or you can do I have the rough idea of everything, let me work a little bit, double check, work a little bit, double check. There's trade-offs both routes. Sometimes it really depends on what the image is. Usually the busier the image is, the more you're going to want to be checking it throughout rather than saying, well, I looked at it for 5 seconds, I've memorized everything. Because chances are there's a lot of little snags in there.
And I imagine this is the kind of thing where you're going to be doing a lot of looking up front and then less as you go, because some parts of it will just start having seeped into your memory and there just are fewer places to put things.
In an ideal world, yeah, that would be how that would play out. But it's always, there's never certainty in puzzling, and being able to be agile and switch tactics whenever you hit a slowdown is really important. We're coming up on the 14-minute line here. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, doing a little bit of a choo-choo train tactic on the border. That's where you take a piece and you line it out and you lay it like tracks, connect them one after another, going step by step, rather than doing those subgroups. We can see this competitor is doing those dark red pieces. I believe that corresponds to this fuzzy arm. That is one of the really unique colors inside of this image. Mm-hmm. So I'm not too surprised that we're going to see more and more folks gravitate towards that over time. I think in the upper right, that's
Beatrice Endler and Rowan. Kind of blanking on Rowan's last name.
Yeah, that's Rowan. But they have.
It says right there on their shirt.
They have almost the full border going. It looks like Beatrice has made a pretty solid connection here in that corner. I think that's that's the jug that goes right in here. That might be the that other corner opposite.
Speaking of solid connections, Beatrice, as per usual, representing my podcast Peace Talks by wearing a Peace Talks branded shirt. She does that in most competitions, which I deeply appreciate.
I highly recommend those shirts. They are phenomenal. Like the material's great, and support Peace Talks because it's amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much. Because then you can listen to people like Jim and Mari Black.
Aw, yeah, we have fun on there. We can see in the lower left-hand corner that's Team Tracy and Fifi, which is made up of Fifi and Tracy. You can see that they are having to maneuver these pieces around quite a bit. They have that border lined out. It looks like Tracy's building out of field. So if this is, I'm going to circle where the build field is. That's the field. Out of field means that Tracy is making projects elsewhere and then needs to deliver them into field. That is often a really slick way to go about things to save space, especially whenever you have a puzzle that's a little chaotic, a little busy like this. The downside is, because this is another one of those random cut puzzles, I believe, it's going to make it where it's tricky to be able to continue to have tension between those pieces to deliver them. I know some puzzlers have kind of worked out a few different ways and how many pieces they'd be able to pick up in one go. In order to be able to use that effectively if they're going to go that route.
Anti-flower puzzle club. What that means?
It probably means that they do not enjoy flowers.
One of the Fs.
Yeah. Well, flowers being one of the Fs of puzzling.
You talk about the Fs.
If I remember correctly, it's flowers, feathers, and flat colors and fur. Yeah.
And fauna, I've sometimes.
Yeah, I sometimes reduce it to just flora, fauna, and flat. But you can see that they also got that really bright pink that's in that lower right-hand corner, totally squared away. It looks like they're also making progress on those martini glasses, little by little. I think some of the pairs that have really that are really good at searching through a pile are going to have success here versus teams that are really aggressive assemblers, because this is definitely a situation where the pile has so much similarity throughout it that if you have somebody that can sort of go into target acquired mode and go, these are the three things you need, let me grab it, that's going to really accelerate the entire assembly. Coming up on the 18-minute line here. I gotta double check the chat. Jessica Henderson in the chat is reminding us that Foliage and Fish 2 are also in there, which I don't blame puzzlers for not wanting to swim upstream against some fishies. Bezel Jigsaws mentioning that Mari and Kelly have that pink sleeve totally finished. Yeah, and nobody seems to be attacking the text layer either. I'm not too surprised. I think a lot of pairs remember last year during the solo round there was a Cobble Hill that had a similar large text in the middle that said diner time, and it bamboozled a good number of people. So I think there's pairs that are holding off on this. I wonder if it might be the case where, because you have a partner in crime on this, you can divide that labor up a little bit, and we might see somebody that wants to give it a go. Because if you break this down into, here is the red bit of word that has the darkest red background, that significantly lowers the search space that you need to dig through, and it could make it where that's an anchor, and then you can work around that from there. We might see pairs dig that out a little bit later, but I don't know who would be brave enough to jump into happy hour this early.
All right, I think that we have a remote guest for the first time in this particular stream. So Madison Christensen coming in from House of Moods. Madison, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing excellent. So tell us a little bit about House of Moods.
Yeah, I'm a creative director, creative by nature, and it was something I started kind of as a Christmas present that I wanted to make for friends. I made a really fun design and I put it, I got them printed one off, and it kind of spun into people loving them, and I enjoy making them so much, and I kind of just kept making them, and it turned into what it is today. And now I have a a lot of customers, big product line, and it's been so fun and super fun to see all these people doing my puzzle right now too.
So speaking of this puzzle, tell us a little bit about this image.
So my whole product line is essentially collage-based puzzles. So you either love them or you hate them. I see some feedback on here. Some people are like, oh, the background. But I feel like my niche is really collages. I think they're so fun to make, and I think it's one of those puzzles that you can do many times over again, and you might notice something, the second time that you didn't notice the first time. And so actually, out of all my puzzles, this is the least busy,
Wow.
believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was, if you like a busy puzzle, there's more to explore in the House of Moods.
Yep. There's always, I call them like lyrics and Easter eggs puzzles. So a lot of mine are music based. I have some like Taylor Swift theme ones, and they're fun because you truly do notice something different every time, or maybe a visual represents something you didn't catch it the first time around. And I try to have them really be pieces of art, and a lot of people have displayed them, and it's been like such a fun journey.
So do you feel like this is the kind of puzzle that was meant to be speed puzzled? Like, do you think about speed puzzling at all before you came to this competition?
I did not. I am very new to this, and it's been so fun to watch, or even just selling puzzles. I've learned so much about how people do puzzles, why they do puzzles, the value they get in puzzles, and like just the relaxing effect they get from puzzles. And of course, I always knew about speed puzzling, but I never knew to this degree. With this design, it being my simplest, I figured it was the best one to throw in there. I have some very challenging ones, but I was working directly with Portland Puzzle Company, so they actually printed this one, and I was using them as a manufacturer for my puzzles. And so that's how I got into this competition.
Nice. And so are you learning anything interesting by virtue of seeing people try and speed puzzle this puzzle?
Yes, I'm always a sort and do the border first, and it's so fun to watch two people do it, just to see like what their tactics are. And I've been watching the live stream throughout the day, so it's been fun to see you guys talk about the different strategies, or about like putting one in a different area because you can't figure out where it goes. Like I would have never. There's so many different strategies that I'm learning, and I think it's to each their own, and it's really fun to. I've been watching all day. So.
All right. As a sort and edge person, I really got to ask you, like, you're doing almost non-sortable puzzles. How do you enjoy doing your own puzzles?
Well, having designed them all, I do feel like I know where everything goes, especially with my really detailed puzzles. This one, a little more challenging, but I do, like with this one, I would have sorted in blocks of colors if I could, and then with the gradient background, would have gone like a darker pink, a lighter pink, and then pieces that have parts of a cup go in one. So I feel like when you're speed puzzling, maybe you can't sort to that degree of like what I would.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, because everybody's eyes are a little bit different. So my initial reaction was maybe there's not a ton of gradient here, but watching the speed puzzlers get around, they are chewing through that background much more efficiently than I was expecting. So it might just be a my eyes kind of a thing. Because you can see that corner, Mari and Kelly in the upper right, they are digging through corner to corner there on that.
I mean, there is a reason they're out there and we're over here.
Very true. No, I genuinely like this image, and it's I think a lot of puzzlers are going to redo this after the round, so that way they can enjoy all the little details in it. There's been so many puzzlers that say I did it too fast, so I didn't get to see things. This was definitely might be one of those situations.
So tell us a little bit.
With this one, go ahead.
No, you.
Oh, I was just saying with this one, I thought different happy hour style puzzles would be something fun, and I feel like I haven't seen a lot of like collage based puzzles when I've been looking to buy puzzles. So I thought this one, I have like a disco margaritas one coming out. I just think they're really fun to make, and they're really bright and colorful.
Yeah, that's great. I really enjoy the there are just so many things for people to experience and explore here, and watching people assemble this puzzle, it brings in a whole different set of skills from the other things that we have seen. Like this is, as Jim was saying, this is like a Dead Reckoning, pick and place sort of thing. Like you got to find a piece and put it where it is eventually going to go, and then just assemble other pieces physically around that and then at some point you'll actually be able to connect them. So it's great to see that skill on display. So you're bringing a whole other class of capabilities to the competition.
Well, I like it. I like it. And this is random cut too, which I think does add, especially with that gradient, can add an extra challenge.
Do you do much grid cut puzzles?
Yes, so I have a lot of ribbon cuts, and then I have 2 that are random cut. I feel like people either love it or hate it. It's a toss-up.
I definitely love this one. I think it's fantastic. It's going to be tricky, but I really like it.
Well, I think it's always a brain challenge. I think they shouldn't be too easy. I think this one's a good mix between easy and extremely difficult. I have one that is extremely difficult, even for me.
So if you were to sit down and try and do this one for time, how fast do you think you could do it, given that you originated the art and probably intimately familiar with it?
I should sit and time myself, but I can do a lot of my other collage puzzles they're actually quite a bit zoomed out, a lot further than this one. And I feel like I can do them. A 1,000-piece puzzle will probably take me an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I know exactly where everything goes.
I feel like the next time we do Portland Jigsaw Masters, you need to be here competing as one of the competitors.
Absolutely, that is a crazy fast time.
I would love to have a partner, but that would be really fun.
Well, we've got individuals.
During the first round today, I was building a new puzzle of mine, and I was like, can I get the border done while they're getting this 500-piece puzzle done? And I did.
That's awesome. So, Madison, where can people find House of Moods?
So I have a website, houseofmoods.com, and I'm also on Etsy, TikTok Shop, Amazon, anywhere you can buy puzzles, essentially.
Anywhere you type House of Moods, you'll show up.
Yes, and I did have a promo code, the Masters20, for 20% off on a purchase.
Excellent. Thanks for bringing that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, telling us a little bit about this puzzle and a little bit about your company. This has been great. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
And congrats on having a great puzzle in the competition. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All righty. Well, while we were chatting, I want to point out in the lower left-hand corner here, the Dolores Park Puzzlers, Chloe and Sky, they did do the text. They dove into it early on, and that's going to give them a really good anchor in the middle to fill in the shape work all around the outside of that. That's such a cool choice. We've seen a lot of other pairs totally avoid that, but they are really eating through this rapidly.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see that what looks like what you guys have described as chaos field sort of puzzling in the past, where you're just sort of puzzling in amongst all the pieces and trying to assemble things. This sort of looks like that if you were to look in the middle, but it's just so much dead reckoning is my guess. The angle's not quite great here, but I think it is just that they've placed so many things exactly where they go that it's not like those aren't loose random pieces in the puzzle. Those are pieces that they've actually placed. And if that is true, they have so many anchors on which to bring other pieces into play.
Yeah, you can also see that they've kind of split up who is going for which colors where. And we were talking with Gene and Kathy Reuter earlier about the level of communication that's needed at this stage, and especially on something that has this kind of duplication and split in colors. Being able to talk to your partner and say, I am working on X and you're working on Y, helps make sure that everything keeps flowing.
And how do you do that in a puzzle where everything is small and pick in place? And it's hard to say I'm working on X because you got 3 pieces and you're done with it.
So one trick that you can use is you can Mari calls it setting precedence. So you might say I am working on things that are yellow and I have precedence. So if you are working on a green thing and you have some yellow in it, that yellow is going to go to the other person because they are setting precedence in terms of what needs to be worked on when.
Fascinating.
Those little kinds of pair communication things really add up over time. I look at how aggressively the Dolores Park Puzzlers are attacking this. They are just in and out of that sort pile so quickly and getting right back into the puzzle. I've seen a lot of pairs where they dig through and they kind of get waterlogged for a while. Upper left-hand corner, we can see Irina and Jessa. They are down just to that center bit of text. We're getting ready to cross the 29-minute and 30-second line here. I think they might be able to keep this under 33, maybe 34. It depends on how wacky that's sitting.
I have to say that given what as has been the case throughout the entire day, my guess as to what this puzzle completion time was going to be is way off from what it is. In this case, I would have guessed much longer, but it's coming together pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. I didn't catch the pair in the upper right-hand corner.
Anything's puzzleable?
Anything's puzzleable? Yes, they did do the thing where they started off with that one section of text with a different background than the rest, made that progress, and then are branching out from there. They're using that sunburst to get through the rest of it. Really cool. This section right here that Irina and Jessa are working on, it's really difficult for pairs because both hands are going to be in that same spot at the exact same time. So there's going to be a lot of bumping and moving, and that's where that extra layer of communication, knowing when your partner is going to be doing something in field versus when you're out of field. You can see Jessa right now trying to work around the outside, doing cleanup everywhere else, while Irina is making progress on the inside as much as possible. So that way they avoid that overlap as much as long as they can.
Got a good shot at the field down in the lower right-hand corner. Everybody's busily puzzling away.
I do want to, I'll mention I was keeping an eye on them earlier. Irina and Jessa had sorted out all of that text early on, so that way they wouldn't even see it inside of the search field until they absolutely need it. And wow, look at Dolores Park Puzzlers in the upper left. I think Irina and Jessa are ahead probably by about 30 pieces or so.
But to the thing that you're always saying, I feel like that the Dolores Park Puzzlers are getting to zero ambiguity a lot faster. Like there's just a lot of spots where only one piece can go.
Yeah, it might end up being a race of shape versus text work. And look at the orientation. Dolores Park Puzzlers are doing this in side-by-side territory, whereas Irina and Jessa are doing this in landscape format where one side's right side up and one side's upside down. And in the upper right-hand corner, we can see Mari Black and Kelly Walter cruising through the puzzle. I think Irina and Jessa have the edge here, but it's going to be close. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Mari Black and Kelly Walter have not started yet on that text, and they're going to really have to jump in there in order to play catch-up. Dolores Park Puzzlers have all of that text worked out, and this is now just that upper region. If they are able to distinguish that background, that's going to give them a huge advantage because they're both excellent at gradients. Yep. They may be able to accelerate into the end here. Oh wow! Now we can get a good view of Mari and Kelly. We can see that they're really trying to work inwards. That whole text area is boxed in pretty hard. They also took out that initial difference of text in the background. It looks like in the lower left-hand corner, Irina and Jessa trying to make that line straight across. They're doing the inverse. Instead of starting with the darkest background, they're starting with the lightest background. So we can see that Irina has that H in the happy already locked up. It looks like Jessa is trying to pull some pieces closer to her to work out of field a little bit. You can see Mari doing those micro glances to check. I also want to point out Mari's doing what we call the pang perch of putting a foot up on the chair, and that way you don't have to be you don't have the pressure on your back. You can just lean on your leg a little bit to alleviate that pressure.
Named after Kelly Walter's former pair partner, Andrea Pang.
Yes. And I think Andrea learned it from Kelly, but
is that right?
but the naming scheme just kind of sticks.
I only ever saw them. Gosh, I can't remember. I for a long time I saw them both just doing it simultaneously, so I can't remember who originated it or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can give Mari a mustache real quick. Okay, cool. Could do
gave
that.
Her an eyebrow.
Oh well. That counts as well. But this is absolutely thrilling. It looks like Irina and Jessa are down to maybe about the last 15 pieces or so. They're probably going to handily have a first place run on this. Yeah, look at that center. They are now at the point where they can use a lot of shape work. It's not zero ambiguity because there's a little left in the center to work out still. But it looks like Mari and Kelly are blazing through as quickly as they can. I don't think they're going to be able to catch up because I know Irina has a ridiculously fast close, but look in the background over here. Dolores Park Puzzlers are cruising along as well. Irina and Jessa down to about the last 7 pieces in that upper left-hand corner, using both of them using only one hand to actually assemble the pieces, using the other hand to stabilize this random cut. They're doing that rotation down to the last 4 pieces or so. There might be one left over. 34 minutes and 23 seconds. Get that last one in. There it is. Congratulations.
Well, yes, good for them.
Congratulations, Irina and Jessa. That was amazing. They're both ridiculously fast puzzlers.
And speaking of ridiculously fast puzzlers, everybody else is still just nipping at their heels. They're getting right there, right down towards the end.
Oh, this is going to be really tight between Dolores Park puzzlers in the lower left and the Guac and Squawk in the upper right-hand corner. Guac and Squawk down to the last about 5 pieces. They are both so fast. There it is.
Hey.
Under 35. Congratulations.
And congratulations to whoever in the live stream had called the closest time. You win a copy of this puzzle. Good luck and Godspeed.
And the hunt continues for the rest of our finishers. Dolores Park Puzzler is probably going to be able to lock up third. A reminder, the top 30 finishers are all going to move on to the finals round from this competition. You can see they are getting through that gradient real rapidly, that adrenaline hitting after they heard that first applause. They're doing excellent right now.
Yeah, I love it where there's just with pairs and teams where there's just a flurry of hands near the end, and it sometimes with teams, I'm sure we'll see it later. You just got to keep your hands out. Like it becomes a judgment call as to what hands actually go in.
There it is. Congratulations. So excited for the Dolores Park Puzzlers. They are a group of puzzlers that practice regularly and are very intent on improving, and it shows. The line keeps going down on their average times, and it's wildly impressive, especially on a puzzle that's tricky like this. I'm curious to hear what they think about it. Watching how they chewed through that top part, there is a lot more gradient than what my eye is able to catch on here.
Which, in your opinion, is a better way for them to anchor on to something, right? Like to me, a gradient is just flat intimidating, but I know that that's unusual. So seeing a gradient, having a gradient allows them to make some distinctions about where to place things in the background, according to the background.
Well, it gives you one more bit of information you can work with, right? Anytime you can get just a little more information, that way if one channel of strategy isn't quite working, you can switch to a different one. Here we can see anything's puzzleable with Liz Walters and Jess Derby cruising through. They got that text totally built out, and now they're making a few island placements. You can see that those orange slices are all in place, and I really appreciate that they're trying to leave a lot of those more awkward red pieces that are indistinguishable from getting lost in the sauce. They're trying to go for the most unique targets early on, rather than getting split in several different directions. Lower left-hand corner, I can't. My eyesight is failing, which is probably why I didn't catch that gradient earlier. But this is a fantastic set of mascots that have come in to help out here for the puzzling. I believe that's Exact and Extra, which is Aeva and Nora. They're doing some really slick puzzling. That whole border is worked out. They have a lot of chunks that are built into the middle. I like that the sorting tray use. I think that's going to be. They don't have the text on that tray, but I think it's some other targets.
That unicorn mascot is looking into my soul. It's got a moving eye. It's blinking.
Is your soul looking back?
No, it turns out it's an empty void, which I did not know until this unicorn thing looked at me.
Well, and I hazard to say that Aeva's nickname is the creator of Tickles, and their goal is to help Tickles make new friends. So if you want a new friend, Tickles is right there for you, I think.
Okay.
Upper left-hand corner, we can see the Strites sisters. I'm trying to double check myself here. But they are closing in on just that text. We're coming up on the 39-minute line. They have maybe about 35 pieces remaining, and they're really trying to use the background in order to sunburst into where that text is.
That's pieces to be pecked in the upper right-hand corner with Krista and Larissa. Bringing together they've got a lot of different projects going on throughout the puzzle, and they've got some, looks like some things that are connected from the top off into the side. So they've been able to create some sort of arc, which actually is defined a nice little bit of space in the upper left corner.
Yeah. Oh, and look in the lower left. That's going to be Kyle and Zin.
Yep.
I'm gonna double check what their pair's name.
It's Zyman and Garf and Kyle. Which
my gosh.
I don't know if it is all Kyle, but whenever Kyle is on a team or a pair, the names are spectacular. I'm a big fan of the pun game that Kyle seems to bring to team naming.
I love everything about that, and I have no notes. That might be my favorite pun so far today.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. But we can see Kyle and Zin are in there working on that text, right neck and neck with Twin Sanity, the Strites sisters right above them. You can see that the Strites are trying to get that line in across the middle. I think that background is helping them quite a bit because they're using that darker component versus the lighter component to set themselves up for success. And I think that that Kyle and Zin are seeing that as well. Zin, one of the fastest speed puzzlers in the world. We've seen Zin really crush those reruns very, very, very rapidly. This is a case where if you have a piece, trying it in several different spots with that physicality goes a long way. Kyle picks up a piece and tries it at a few spots and then sets it into a piece jail, brings it back out. Nope, it is going into jail this time.
Yeah, those words are really causing some people some trouble, like both Twin Sanity and Zyman and Garfunkel struggling a little bit in the middle, both really strong teams. It's quite the gap, actually, between the third place finisher and the next teams that we're looking at here.
Yeah, and this might be the kind of situation where the image itself may lend itself to certain puzzlers more than others. Yep. There's always a difference between a puzzle that you enjoy as an image versus a puzzle you enjoy speed puzzling. And I think some of these folks that are really into working straightforward sky gradients backgrounds, they may find this kind of collage a little difficult for them. Oh wow! You can see in the lower left. One of the Dolores Park puzzlers packing up right next to Kyle and Zin. There was also a moment where we saw Chloe cheering them on briefly. That's one of the things I love about the puzzle community is that everybody is rooting for each other at every step of the way. Check! Oh wow! I didn't notice this earlier with the Strites. Look at the angle that she's using. She's turning her whole body in order to try to get a dead-on view of the puzzle. This is one of those situations where if they had the puzzle close to the end, they could just use the third side. But they're so used to standing like this in other competitions that I think it's just a natural reflex to be there. And they're down to the last 4 pieces or so. And look at how methodical it is. It's not rushed, it's not hurried, it's accurate, and it's done.
Wow, it was almost a sigh of relief at the end of that. It wasn't quite, but it felt very much like okay, and now we're finished, as opposed to the jumping up and down, high-fiving we've seen in other teams.
Oh, wow. And this is really really impressive. I know that some of the top pairs are used to having their pair time close to under 30 minutes on some puzzles, around 35. So when it goes over that, it can start feeling like, oh, this is really tricky and difficult. But they're doing a great job here. There's a great look at Zin and Kyle's puzzling in that upper left. They are also in this state of being precise on the pickup and then being fast on the delivery. Which goes a long way. Sometimes if you pick up a piece and then you're moving really quickly, you don't always remember what it was that you picked up initially. So that extra beat of discernment in the pile lets you be more accurate on the assembly end.
All right, so we got two teams, two pairs, which I think are part of a larger team. We have pieces to be pecked and peck in pieces, and that threw me for a while because we were looking at different folks wearing the same shirts with the same sort of name. So we got peck and pieces, the other half, at the upper right-hand corner there.
Oh no, it's piece and peck in the upper right.
Well, no, that's what their shirts say. So their shirts say one thing, their sign says the other thing. So it's peck and pieces is on the sign. I think their actual full name is Pieces to be Pecked in their major team. But you'll just have to tune into the team's live stream to find out.
I suppose so. We may have to watch them gobble up more pieces here as they dig into this. I haven't seen puzzling like this in quite some time. But look, they started out with the text And this is a little bit more of a chaotic solve because they have pieces that are split both on the right and on the left and in the middle. So they are setting themselves up to do that sort of chaos solve, which is really slick. Kyle and Zin coming in on the last 5 pieces or so, maybe 6. There it is. Now they're down to 5. Zin getting those last ones in. And the camera didn't catch it, but Katie Dilks and Ashley finished strong over here just next to the table. Congratulations, Kyle and Zin closed out.
Nice.
Let's go! Let's go!
I don't know if you can tell, but Jim is excited for Katie and Ashley.
Ashley, also known as Artishly on Twitch, is another one of those streamers that does their puzzling online. It's great. Oh, lower right-hand corner, we just had another pair of
Looks
finishes.
like Fifi.
Yeah, Fifi. Fifi and Tracy.
Tracy, that's right.
Yeah. Congratulations. Now we're starting to see that bell curve of finishers begin to really take off. On screen now, we can see the results the results so far. First place, Irina and Jessa. As Irina and Jessa, Squawk and Guac with Mari and Kelly, Dolores Park Puzzlers with Sky and Chloe in third, and now we're going to keep rolling the rest of the finishers.
74, yeah.
Thunder Eggs, that's Ashley and Katie Dilks, and then Zyman and Garfunkel. They may have come in 6th, but they come in first place in names.
They're first in our hearts, and then Tracy and Fifi come in at 7th.
As Fifi and Tracy. We're going to continue playing with the results, make sure that you get to see them. We're coming up on the 46-minute and 15-second line here in this duos competition, and we are starting to see this image really come to fruition for a lot of these puzzlers. I say it every time, I mean it each time, and I want it to happen. I want to clear the room. I believe in these puzzlers. I know that they can pull it off.
Well, I'm here. I believe you. We haven't seen it yet. Do you think that we're on pace for it?
I think some pairs are going to cut it a little close. It's really going to be a game of how much that background gradient sticks out in the mid to late game. But we have a good shot. And I think we have a couple of folks coming up to the table here that we'll talk to here in a minute. Upper left-hand corner, we have Sammy Brownlow and Meredith closing in on that last little bit of text. They might be able to keep this under the 50-minute line. So close. The upper right-hand corner, you can see their mascots, Chombi. I'm not sure who that other mascot is. Chombi's the one on the bottom, and I need to find the name of this other cute critter.
We'll have to send a reporter out into the field to find out.
That would be the mini Chombi that I just handed over to Sammy today.
It is the mini Chombi, so Chombi and mini Chombi, understood.
So Gene Reuter providing that commentary, the Rove reporting from the field. Gene and Kathy both joining us back again. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you for having us back.
So I would love to hear your perspective on what you've seen so far.
That was an interesting puzzle choice. It looks like it came out and I'm like, I want to start with the text, and just watching almost every single person has ended with it. So I clearly would not have probably been the wise choice to begin with.
Well, maybe it just looks different when you see it in person. Oh, finish.
Yeah.
Well, and we saw, I can't remember who it was, but one of the top 2 teams pretty much started with the text or had the text as an anchor. So it definitely a path you could take. Yeah.
Yeah. We were really impressed by. Do you want your notice on the end there?
Yeah, the ability for some people to finish super duper fast. In speed puzzling, it's never over until the puzzles complete people, because sometimes a team who's really good, or a pair, sorry, in this case, you may have maybe twice the pieces, and if you can close faster than another team, you could still potentially take it over. So the gap that narrowed in that last 20, 30 seconds was pretty crazy between first and second place. So yeah, I'm in awe of people who can do that fast.
Do you feel like that is a set yourself up for speed at the end kind of thing, or is that just like some people are inherently better at closing?
Both. I think you're going to be inherently better at closing if you have set yourself up for success. And that's always the dream, right? If you're out there and you're making those split-second decisions, that's hopefully what you're headed towards. Yeah.
No, that makes a ton of sense. We've seen a lot of the pairs end up sort of doing a pick and place tactic. Is that what you all would have gravitated towards?
Well, I think it's well known busy puzzles aren't necessarily our favorite. And something that's this busy and they're that tiny of pieces, I think that really was the correct approach.
Yeah. How else would you approach it? I wonder.
Doing the text first.
Yeah, doing the text, but
Doing
then
the
what?
text first, yeah. And it was interesting too because we watched a couple of teams or a couple of pairs pull out the text and put it on the side from early on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a game there. Is the time that I just, as my pair, spent pulling that out and leaving it to the end worth the trade-off? And for some pairs, it definitely was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a gamble, but just so long as, yay, finish.
Hey.
You just can't stop and not make a decision when you're doing that. When you're in the moment, you have to make those decisions and you have to just decide instantly and go for it. And then be flexible if it doesn't work out.
I think that's really difficult for a lot of individual puzzlers to do, is to make a call and then kind of live with that regret, one way or the other. Is it easier whenever you have a partner there, or does that add pressure to make the right decision?
I don't think it adds pressure. I think it adds comfort because if you you can help each other make that decision. You can call this is communication. Circling back, doing I'm going to pull the text. The other person can be great or do not do that.
Yeah.
And are you guys fairly comfortable making decisions and moving on and sort of living with the results?
We are.
I think that comes with experience. The more puzzles you do, the more you're going to be comfortable with making those split-second decisions. Never live in regret, people. Just be like, I learned from that.
Things I've learned from Dean: never live in regret and always hydrate.
No, eat before you compete was the other one. Yeah, yeah. This was a tricky puzzle, though. It's definitely lots of small details.
Yeah, and we were talking with the artist and company owner, and she said that this is one of her least busy puzzles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said she was trying to pick something that would be readily accessible during a competition, and so she took one of her more zoomed in puzzles. She said most of her puzzles are a lot more zoomed out than this.
Well, I know a lot of people who love very busy puzzles, so they should check out this brand because they're going to be very happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, House of Moods, by the way, the brand.
Have you been? You mentioned communication being really important. As you've been watching, have you heard some of the pairs talking in certain ways, or a style of communicating with each other that's interesting?
I think when you're on the floor, you don't hear each other's tables, and when you're not on the floor, you're not close enough to hear it. So unfortunately, I can't answer that.
That's all right.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you guys communicate in the middle of a puzzle like this. Is it mostly just everybody yells out some version of I'm working on this class? Actually, one of the things we were talking about earlier is how do you as a team approach a puzzle like this? Now, obviously, you can pick a place to that, but there's not projects. There's not an obvious I'm working on this sort of thing, with the exception of maybe the text. So, do you guys? Jim was saying that was it Mari? Calls out has a color priority approach, I'm working on yellows and give me the yellows. How would you guys do something like this as a division of labor, if at all?
Well, there are actually some groupings on there, so people could take either by color, like those dark colors. You could take obviously the sleeves. Whether you want to go for some of the fruit cutouts or certain kinds of glasses, I want the green glass, or I want the wine glasses, or the tumblers. Or if you're the crazy people who were I want the text. But there are ways to actually call it out. And there is, I don't think it actually probably benefited too much on this one, but there is a slight gradient on that background. It's a little more pink in the bottom right. And I think that's one spot that you could have pulled out and gone by some of the background color.
Now, when you say one of the fruit slices here, every one of those is small, so would you be picking out every orange and then just trying to make groups out of that, or?
That's probably what I would lean towards if I had done that.
We probably aren't the best advice for that, people, because we overpull on busy puzzles. So listen to the experts who aren't us on busy.
Fair enough. Any other observations that you guys had with respect to this puzzle?
I loved seeing the communication on the floor. You could see a lot of the pairs. We couldn't hear it, but you could see it. You could see people kind of pointing things out and handing things across. And it looks like, are we over half of the floor almost cleared already? These pairs are really getting through.
Yeah, I think that this may be one of the, despite what I would have thought, again, I think that this is one of the puzzles where we actually have a good chance of clearing the run.
Yeah, so far I think we've had 9 finishers. Probably another one that needs to get logged here. But looking around, just the amount of puzzle that's been done, it's looking really, really strong.
Yeah,
boy. You want to do that text? No.
Well, I was so surprised because usually I remember you saying absolutely no text, and then your first reaction to be do the text.
Mine is.
Yeah.
That was
So,
Kathy's.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that is
okay.
one. That is one of the strengths that we do have between the two of us. Is I tend to do text over Gene. But when you have a text in a random cut and the letters are that big, I'm sure you guys were talking to it. Like it makes it very challenging to try to figure out
They're not
the
letters.
orientations. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming back and endowing us with a little bit more wisdom in your observations from the field. So I
Thank you.
always appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you guys, and so this was delightful for me.
Thanks again. Good luck,
you.
everyone, and great job.
Gene and Kathy Reuter, legends in the speed puzzling community.
Just amazing humans as well. I mean, speed puzzling is replete with amazing humans. They are near the top of them.
I am never going to wash the right side of my body again since I've been that close to them now. That's
Remind me to take the other side for the.
fair enough. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, I think that's Meredith and or that's Maggie. That's Maggie and their partner closing in on the last 7 pieces or so. And in the lower left, Kate Yee and I believe that's oh gosh, I don't have it on me. That's Kate Yee and Anna buckled in, finishing strong under the 56-minute line. Congratulations to both of them. They did great in their preliminary rounds, and now Maggie finishing strong.
Oh, Maggie and Aaron.
Yeah.
So Maggie obviously was with us earlier, and Aaron is part of the Oregon Jigsaw Puzzle Association. She's one of the founders of that.
We're seeing more and more people. I think that's Rowan. That was Rowan
And Beatrice.
and
yeah.
Beatrice. They finished out just a few moments ago, and so now we're starting to see that transition in the room for more people milling about, being excited about their finishes, and people are going to keep on a puzzling as we go through.
All right, I'm going to scooch around to here a little bit. We'll make room for. We've got a whole group of people. Seems like we are 3, 4.
We're missing one.
Have counting problems. So Irina, welcome back,
Thank you.
and Jessa and Mari, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. So, all right, I would love to hear thoughts on this puzzle. Go ahead, Jessa.
Yeah, you go first.
You twinkled first. Tell us.
It was not my puzzle, but it worked out. But yeah, it's busy, and like Mari said, it's pink.
It's very pink.
It's very pink. So I
It does
wasn't-
come off as pink, yeah. Even as a non-expert, I noticed that part.
Yes.
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 Sorry, please
I don't
continue.
know. No, I was like, oh, okay. I don't have any.
Strong opinions?
No.
So you were just, once this came out of the box, you're like, okay, well, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. This is our life for the next, who knows how long. Yeah.
Mari, what were your thoughts on this one?
It was very pink, and we were discussing amongst the 4 of us how they gave this puzzle to people who don't like pink and know nothing about alcohol. I'm a lifelong non-drinker. Jess is a non-drinker. Kelly barely drink. We're like, where's the Shirley Temple? I know that one. At one point, Kelly said to me, here's the martini glass. I said, what's that?
So you guys were able to slog through it in any case. What did you think about the text? Was that the first thing you were attracted to? The last thing you were attracted to?
No.
We can get something very clear now. In puzzling, if text is big enough that you cannot identify the letter on one piece, which usually takes about half the letter, it's no longer actually text. We call it, in my household, we call it the Wizard of Oz principle, because we learned it the hard way on a Wizard of Oz puzzle. So at that point, it's just lines and backgrounds.
We left them till I'm gonna tell. We left them till the end, and I'm like really bad at text, as you guys learned the last time. And so at the end we had the text, and I was like, I don't know, there's an olive there, there's a diamond there, and then Jess is like, you got this, you got this, you got this, and she just placed every single piece, which was amazing for me. That was amazing. Yeah, I was so impressed.
I was feeling adrenaline. I was like, we got this.
So we have a text expert here.
No. And text is not my thing. I don't know what came over me. I don't know.
Well, it was great to watch it come together because it just sort of like all like it just assembled extremely quickly right there at the end.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, were you guys intentionally trying to stay out of your partner's way, or was it just like whatever happens, who needs a thumb?
I did my classic. These pieces spark joy, so I'm gonna place these pieces. I don't know where they go yet, but I'll figure it out. And at the beginning, there was a little bit of sorting, so that helped Jess sorted some of the blues, and I was like, okay, I can do those. And then we bolt off that, I guess.
I didn't realize there was a Marie Kondo sort approach to puzzling.
Yeah.
Just going with whatever sparks joy. Well, what do you think about the folks who are still out in the field here? What would you recommend to them in terms of areas to focus on? Obviously, text and not text.
Yeah.
I would save the text for last unless you see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I know Chloe likes text, and she said she did it like right at the start, and it
Yeah.
was like very, or not Chloe, Sky, sorry. Chloe
Yeah.
was saying she's very happy she didn't have to do text because Sky took it.
It was impressive to see that was probably the only pair that we saw where like that middle section came together first and they started building out from it rather than building in towards it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was super fun to watch, and I know that whenever you come in on those last like 50 pieces, you can get that acceleration hump. What were both of your pairs doing in that mid game where it's like, okay, we did the border, we did some of the outline, like what was happening in that mid game that helped keep things turning?
Well, we were playing the chaos game because we did not have the border until very late, and just trying to sort things out. So it was a lot of talking that was great, and like a lot of crisscrossing because both of us knew things that the other person didn't. And so this is a good puzzle for the sharing of information, which is my favorite thing about pairs. So there was a lot of that, and that part was really fun.
Yeah, I think Irina took what the little piles I'd made and put them together and then placed them. So she was doing a lot of the pick and place, which helped when we both were working on it to
Were you
work
doing
around.
it looked like for a while you were doing, I don't know, sorting was probably not the right word, but like I'm used to Jessa being the recipient of piles of things, and it looked like you were the deliverer of piles of things.
I was giving her piles. She's amazing.
So you're
I
the
was happy.
reverse
Yes.
princess puzzling.
Yes, yes. You need to do that sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta give.
I feel like I just blacked out. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but it's going.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this actually is a pick and place puzzle, very strongly. But the interesting thing about that is this cut, I'm sure has been discussed in the previous rounds, is everybody always saying it's loose and tight at the same time. So like it's very hard to get a single piece in, but it is nearly impossible to move even two pieces that are already attached. So as much as you want to like pick and place, like put islands in, you also have to sunburst. You have to build off of what's already there, because if you move something, you're going to be building it again.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting trade-off and very challenging tactilely.
I love that pair we just finished watching looked, I don't know, embarrassed, afraid when they were finished. They were like,
They weren't sure if they were going to hit the 30 group cutoff.
Oh yeah, where are we at on
There's a
that?
little-
Have you seen?
I know. Right now we have 16 finishers so far. So
Okay.
they were well in under the line. The mother puzzlers, Brendan, Kiera.
Yeah, this was definitely a hard one, I think. Like, the fastest time being 34 is pretty, like, slow for pairs, I think.
If you aren't already a drinker, this puzzle might inspire a start.
Well, we were talking with the Reuters earlier. We had a conversation with the artist, and she said this is one of her least busy puzzles.
Oh, good.
So if you're looking for a puzzle that you can spend some time with, this brand has them, because she said that usually they're a lot more zoomed out than this one is, same piece count, and so.
I almost wonder if that might not have been, in a way, more approachable, because like it was just so many different shades of pink, and it doesn't always read on the pieces the same way it does on the picture, and all the skin looks very pink as well. Most of it, so there was a lot of trying to decide if this is a very zoomed in hand or if it's kind of a grainy part of the background. So I wonder if zoomed out a little bit more would have made it easier. Like maybe I'd take more busy.
Yeah. Just more distinguishable things on the,
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I got great news. House of Mood has all sorts of puzzles that you can get that will have that. The House of Moods. That's the brand that did this. Yeah. So they have the busier things. So you're welcome to try that hypothesis.
All right. Anything else before we let you guys go?
Thank you for having us here.
No, thanks for coming up. It's good to see you again, Irina.
You too.
And puzzle fast, everybody. I don't know if this is a clear the room puzzle, but we do love it when it happens. So everybody go fast.
All right. You guys got to go down and cheer every table.
That is the plan.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Irina and Jessa and Mari, and I think Kelly took a little breather, but they did a fantastic job on a tricky puzzle, and we're seeing that a lot of these other puzzlers are doing excellent. There's so many pairs that are starting to really cruise through. The bell curve of finishers is starting to reach that peak. So we're going to see a rush of people starting to come through the end line here. I think we're up to we have to have over 16 finishers now. I'm waiting for this to refresh. I think we're at 18. We'll double check here.
While we're waiting on that, I got 22 actually.
Okay.
While we're waiting on that, we do have a winner for the live stream Guess the Time contest. That was Morris 5 family. They guessed 34:02 against a winning time of 34:24. So they were just 22 seconds off. So nice job, Morris 5 family.
Very well done on that. That's not easy to do, especially with a puzzle that's uncertain for the field. Congratulations. Trying to get a couple more names here. You can see in the lower right-hand corner that view of the entire competition area, and you can see how close a lot of these pairs are to being able to finish this, and how many pairs have already headed out. We are still 8 pairs away from being able to declare who's going on to the finals. So keep on pushing. Remember, every piece counts at this point.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see a pretty hard dichotomy once we get to the end of people for whom I think I myself might be included in this, for like where pick and place puzzles like this, heavy, busy puzzles just don't compute. And, you get a lot of people can eventually just slog through it. But I wonder if we'll see some folks who are just like, these kinds of things are just unapproachable. And we did the best that we could.
Well, we'll see, and that's where having process that you can lean on, even when you don't like the image, goes a long way. But it's going to be cutting it close. You can see in the upper right-hand corner. I didn't catch the name. I don't think that's Jessica. Oh no,
I think it is.
Yeah, that is Jessica Lau. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Jessica, who's up here earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're right over there.
They're over there.
Across from us. Yeah, we're actually pointing at where they're at on screen, which is kind of fun. But they're doing a great job here. They're down to probably the last 25 pieces or so. It's X marks the spot, which is a great name for a pair.
Yeah, and they've got just a bunch of pieces sort of spread out all throughout the table. It looks like just primarily blank light pink pieces.
Yeah, it's Jessica and Katie Heinlein coming into the end here. It would be fun to ask Jessica later, because she talks about having music if she ever encourages pairs to practice at a certain timing schedule. They're coming down to the wire here. We're at an hour and 7 minutes and 45 seconds here. Are they going to be able to keep this under the hour 9-minute line? I think they're going to be able to pull it off. You can see Katie is doing a great job of picking up a piece, delivering it right where it goes. There's zero ambiguity, so it's all shape work at this point. They can get these last ones in just a little bit. Use that tidbit information to sink the last 2 pieces in. There it is. There's a piece down. There's a piece missing. They're looking around for it. That 10-second timer has kicked off, so it's a race to see if they can find the piece before the 10 seconds up, or are they just going to take that 10-second penalty?
Is there a bag? Where's the bag?
Oh, yeah, it might be in the bag.
Looks like they're just going to take the penalty.
Just the same, congratulations, and I think that's going to be enough to get them into the next round.
All right, we've got some new guests joining us.
Hello.
Mary and Noah, welcome to the announcer table. How are you?
Doing good.
Doing well.
How did you find this puzzle?
It was a bit challenging, but I think there was enough there to build off of that it wasn't that we were stopping at any moment, so it wasn't too bad.
So you found you guys were moving along pretty good.
We started to go quickly. We started with an idea, getting all the letters and focusing on those for a bit, but that didn't go well, so we immediately pivoted.
Yeah, we've been talking about how unless you got a special knack for doing letters, the letters here were probably not where most people were starting.
Yep.
And so how did you bring it together outside of the letters? Because outside the letters, it is a different kind of chaos.
Right. I think there was enough of the different pieces, the oranges, the different colors that you could piece together little parts of it, and then we kind of strung those together, I think.
Nice. And so tell me how you guys came to become a pair.
Well, we know each other through two people that puzzle together. So I know Allie Arndale.
Yeah, and I've puzzled with Jen Sipple back in Colorado, and then moved out here, was looking for a partner. Jen knew somebody who needed a partner, so we met this morning.
Nice. Oh, so no practice or very little practice?
We practiced one puzzle this morning. It didn't go too well, and
You know, the number of times I hear that, and it's usually the first puzzle didn't go too well, and then after that it was all just fine. So was the second puzzle fine?
Well, I think that took the pressure off, right? Because we're like, well,
yeah, right.
whatever happens, happens. You know?
And were you guys just like, well, I guess we're committed, even though this one didn't work out this morning?
We will do our best.
Yeah.
Yep. We weren't fans of the practice one that we did, so we bonded over that and then said, let's try again.
Okay. Were you mostly yelling at the puzzle then?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Was there something that you did work out in terms of team dynamic or roles or something in order to make that adjustments?
I think we were just kind of dynamically like, I'll do this. I'll take this part, and then we'd switch and if we were stuck. So.
Yeah, we said if we got a landscape that we had some roles in mind, but alas, we did not get a landscape.
You got very far from a landscape
Exactly.
in this particular case. Yeah, so how does the communication between a new pair like that work out? Like you guys had just one round to figure things out. Did you guys find that you're able to just communicate how things are going, or did you just everybody work? Like this feels like a communication heavy puzzle.
Right. Yeah, I think we were handing pieces off a little bit. You know, you're working on that part. Oh, I found that. You know, just hand those off. And other than that, I mean, we both have partnered with other people, so we kind of brought those skills into it. And
Yeah.
I think that was helpful.
I think both of us kind of go with the flow as well, so there was a lot of dynamic adjustment and just, what do you think? What do you think? Okay, yeah, let's try.
Nice. So that worked out well for you.
Yeah,
You guys-
and I think this puzzle in particular, the background has a gradient on it, and so we were able to pull pieces out that were in different areas based just on that. So we kind of do some kind of separation of pieces.
Okay, yeah, we were wondering if the gradient, actually Jim was wondering, because I was like, oh look, chaos. Jim was like, well, there's some gradients going on here that teams can take advantage of. It sounds like that worked out for you guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's or do you self-describe as gradient puzzlers, or do you describe yourselves as gradient puzzlers, or do you tend to lean more towards busy individually?
I would much rather prefer a gradient,
Yes,
but
me too.
yeah, busy's not my thing.
Yeah, this was a little bit in between, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too chaotic, so not too bad.
So as a pair who has just come together, did you guys have some goals that you were trying to hit in terms of where you placed?
I think we were just hoping to move on.
Yes.
I mean, that was my goal.
Goal achieved? How do you
Yes.
feel about that?
Yeah, we were pleasantly surprised with our
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
And you're looking for more chaos then in the next
Absolutely, yeah.
Landscape, please.
round? Landscape would be your ideal?
I
Well,
think so.
is this the worst case, or is there a worst case beyond this?
I think a little more chaotic would be worst case. Yeah.
Yeah, if it got any more chaotic than this, not ideal.
So if we see a chaotic puzzle come out in the duos final, there may be a table that gets launched into the air.
There might be. Pieces scattered across the floor.
But I was listening to your podcast with Jim and Mari, and she said, you know, she doesn't have a particular favorite, like don't hate any of the puzzles. So I'm trying to adapt that to what I'm doing. And so when I take it out, I'm not immediately like, I hate this.
Do you find that really does impact your ability to speed puzzle something?
Because I definitely, as soon as I see it and I think I can't do it, and I slow down instead of just going for it. Yeah.
Takes all the energy out of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that helps. And well, you were saying it. You just transitioned into treating it like a gradient, the thing that you were really solid at, and that thing that got you all through it. That's really really fantastic. What did you think of the text in the middle? Cool.
I mean, at first I thought maybe we'll go for the round edges and try and put those together, but there are so many round edges in there. And then I tried to use the gradient background on it, and that helped a little bit. But overall, we just left it for the end.
It stood out though, so we could separate it at the front and just sort of scoot it to the side, and that ended up being the strategy. It wasn't the original plan, but that's kind of how it went.
Well, and it clearly worked out for you all in order to get through it. I was seeing a note here, Mary. It says you've been practicing 1 to 5 puzzles a day.
Yeah, so my husband puts them in the blind bags and they stack up and I just go through because I will tend to practice on the easy ones and ones that I know really well. And so I did that this last week and that was a good challenge.
I loved it. I love having because I have this in a different way. I love having a partner who's willing to just sort of engage in your hobby enough, like to enable you. It's like, you need this thing, great, here's this thing. So that is such a joy to have, I believe.
Yes, and then he analyzes everything I do. So
Does
that's
he?
great. Yeah.
Does it help?
Yes.
Yeah?
He's got his spreadsheets out and everything. Yep.
I love me a good spreadsheet. That's always great. And no, I want to ask, do you think your grandma's watching?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. She was my inspiration for getting into it as a kid, and yeah, it's how I kept with the hobby and just something I always came back to. And yeah, when I was younger, she would just get so elated when I would place a few pieces in a row, and she would think I'm going so fast. And so I think that just it kept me going as a kid.
I mean, she was not wrong. I've seen you now in 2 different competitions beyond this one, and every time I was like, dang, that guy's fast.
Well, I appreciate
So
that.
I could be your grandma if you need in any of these competitions.
Sure.
I'll come
Yeah.
over and go, nice job, Noah, well done.
Can you bring cookies?
I mean, I will not have made them, but I'm happy to
Okay.
bring them. Yeah. Well, Noah and Mary, anything else that you want to either say or shout out to anybody or let
Shout
people know
out
where?
to the Hawaiian Puzzle Club. So I'm part of that. I spend time in Hawaii on Big Island. I get to puzzle with Ali on Oahu sometimes. So, yes.
Ali Arundel?
Yep.
Yep.
And then I would probably shout out the Missing Piece Puzzle Exchange. That's back in Denver, Colorado, where I got into speed puzzling a few years ago. So yeah, that's how I got here.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming up and joining us and giving your perspective on the puzzles and telling us all about yourself.
Thank you both.
Yeah. And I think that we're going to take a quick break at this point. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. All right.
Well, back and we are seeing more fantastic puzzling. I know a lot of people are working through this happy hour. We are coming up on happy hour here in Portland.
Wow, yeah, I just put that together, so to speak. Wow, look at me, 2 puns in a row.
Oh, wow, you're just really down on them.
I've been. Right. I was going to say I've been around you too long, but clearly I have not. There's much to learn.
It'll keep happening little by little. In the lower right hand corner, we can see the easy PC pair of Linnea and Julie coming in on that text area. We have crossed the hour, 17-minute, and 20-second line here in this puzzle competition. So a lot of these puzzlers are feeling fatigued. Some of them have already done a round or 2 of puzzling. Like we've mentioned before, some of these pairs have met today or this morning, so they might have puzzled in their individual prelim and then met up with their partner to do another one. So they might be, 1,000, 1,500 pieces in even before this round started.
I know of at least one person who tomorrow is in all 3 rounds, the individuals, pairs, and teams. So that is a solid day of puzzling.
That can be really exciting. It can also be super draining, but just as long as you're set up for it, the mini marathon during the day goes a long way.
Yeah. As long as you're properly fed and hydrated.
Yeah. In the upper right, I think that's Peace and Pecs, or Pecs and Peace.
I believe that's Peck and Pieces.
Peck and Pieces. Okay, well, we will be chickening them in a little bit here as they continue to make progress using that chaos style. Lower right and lower left, we can see Easy Peasy cruising in on that text. I noticed that they have 2 different sections for those pieces. One's a little off to the side, the other's a little bit closer. So they have a little bit of a split pile going. It also looks like they have. It also looks like they're trying to do a little bit of background work at this stage.
When you say background work, what do you mean?
Well, here I'm gonna try to zoom in on them for just a moment here. I think that's camera 5. Yeah, there we go.
Nailed it.
So if we take a look at that, a lot of the pieces either have this lighter background or this darker background, meaning that you can see the text on it, but the thing that the text is sitting on has a slightly different hue or a slightly different color. Mm-hmm. So you can distinguish that way. and treat it almost like a pure gradient in certain stages.
Got it.
It's really tricky at certain points to be able to distinguish that, especially if you've been looking at the same pieces over and over again. And this is where we talk about that trade-off of how you organize the pieces. If they're all real close and they're touching each other, it can sometimes be easier to distinguish little color differences between what's sitting on each piece.
Really? I mean, it makes sense, but I guess that when I'm puzzling, often when I get to something that, especially that looks like the pile you just circled, where it's just like one color and a little bit of another color, often I just need to spread them out in order to be able to tell, like, that to be able to distinguish individual pieces out of a field of the same colors.
Well, and you can see that on the other side where they spaced them out just a little bit in order to have room. And that's where there's always that trade-off of, is it more important to see the color distinction, or do you need the space to be able to tell where one piece ends and one begins?
No, it makes a ton of sense, especially if there is some variation in the background, that having them near each other makes it easier to distinguish which colors go with which piece. Totally.
And we're going to start having a little bit of a runoff, so we'll bring the split screen back up here. I think Pete. The chicken team 1, Peace Peckers, doing a fantastic job here. They are in on the text. I didn't get the name for this pair, but look at how methodical they're being. They're not being real rushed from like a physicality sense. They're not doing a lot of brute forcing. They're really looking at what is on that piece before they even pick it up. And
they're at the point where they're doing something that is just not in their wheelhouse, and so it's a matter of just trying to gain every last bit of information you can out of the piece, examining the piece, living with that piece. I've lived this life as well. It's just like, okay, well, I'm down to a few things. They're not going in really quick. At this point, you would really hope that everything would just fall right into place. But sometimes the puzzle gods don't live with you on that, and you just got to really understand to the extent that you can what's going on there. Now, would you say, like, at this point, is the fastest way to do it just start trying to jam it into every place it might go?
I think if you can still see anything useful, try using that initially. It's real difficult to do brute forcing whenever you have a pair and it's all in the same spot. But they were able to go slow and smooth. They crush it, and I believe that's going to be the 30th team to make it into the final. We're gonna double check the results here. I saw 29 a second ago. I think that was. We'll see the final results here shortly, but that might have been what they needed in order to move on into the finals.
I think you're right. Because currently, where the scores that I have are only up to 29. There we go.
We're gonna hit reload here and see what we can get.
Laura Carleso. We only got one member of that team who finished 30th there in the data. So I don't know if that was them or not. Didn't get a good enough look at their table or where they were.
Yeah, I don't think think somebody soloed this in that time. That would be impressive. But everybody is going to keep on moving, because keep in mind, the folks that are puzzling right now, they don't have the results in their heads. They're just going as fast and as quickly as they can. A lot of these pairs are coming in on that text area, and this, we mentioned it earlier. How are you able to make sure that you're sharing space with your partner to be effective, not just steamrolling them and having both people kind of pull their hands around and try to get out of each other's way? How can you do it efficiently to get around? I love that this pair in the lower right, Linnea and their pair, they just did a big swap, so they changed positions physically around the table. That's a huge move for pairs. A lot of teams think that you stay on one side and you live there. Often, if you switch spots, it gives you a slightly different angle, slightly different context, and then suddenly something that you were working on that was real difficult makes more sense.
That's Julie with Linnea down there?
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Sometimes getting a different perspective is exactly what you need, and often we will find that, like on my teams and pairs, we'll find that when you're sort of in a rut, like, just call for a move, and if nobody is really working a section like hardcore at that time, great, let's move, and suddenly everybody is finding a whole lot more pieces.
Yeah, well, what's really tricky is being able to switch before you start hitting that rut.
Sure.
Right? Especially when you're in a pair because if you're both going at 90% as opposed to one person going at 90 and you going at 50, that's always going to be a little bit faster. But there's a whole bunch of reasons it's difficult to intentionally do, especially at pace.
Yeah, I love that these guys have more or less the same middle part going on here.
Yeah, it's going to really be a battle of if you're looking at the background and using that effectively, or if you are doing that line setup. The upper left-hand corner here, I think that's the Peace Peckers. Once again, they are at that stage where anything they pick up can go in. There's a little bit of uncertainty right in this gap here because it's not a really clear hole. But I do think they have the ability to just brute force the rest of this if they really push it. Are they going to try to be physical at this stage, or are they going to try to keep using that line work? We just saw the upper right-hand corner.
Little celebration.
Little celebration there.
Well earned.
An hour 25 and change. A fantastic closeout.
Speaking of fantastic closeouts, looks like we have them coming up here.
There we go. And you can see that transition whenever they recognize that they can go into shape work, that there's a little bit of a pep in their step, and they can just grab pieces and sink them real quickly. That was such a quick close as soon as that light bulb went on.
Right? I often wonder, like, it's in these moments where you can realize what it must be like to be an elite person because you're moving sort of much faster as a general rule. Like, you can experience that as a non-elite person in the close of the puzzle where you're like, yeah, look at me putting all those pieces in together real fast.
Well, and it's so many puzzlers have described it as feeling like flying.
Yeah.
Where it's just your body is moving faster than your brain even needs to process it because you've already figured out what needs to happen. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is definitely a blissful moment for me when those things come together because it's how you imagine speed puzzling would feel like when you can just suddenly be putting everything in, just constantly in motion. It's such a great feeling.
Well, I want to give a quick shout out to the YouTube chat. I know there's been a bunch of people in there cheering other people on, rooting. Jessica Anderson has given a shout out to Gene and Kathy when they were up here, and cheered on for Caroline and Elizabeth. There's folks that are just supporting each other across the board, which is really lovely. And our finishers are going to keep rolling in as we cross the hour and 27-minute line.
Does she need these? No?
We're setting up the table here because we have a couple of guests running in to join us, just playing around with the microphones a little bit.
So Anita and Karen,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How was this puzzle?
Hard.
Hard?
Very hard.
Oh, so tell me what was challenging about it?
Well,
Where to begin?
I thought I would do the text first and she would do the border first, but it wasn't a good idea in the end because the text was extremely hard. And we actually finished with the text because it was the hardest.
Yeah, most of the people did finish with the text.
I'm not
So far,
surprised to
we've
hear
only
that.
seen one team, I think, that actually started with the text. But the border seems not trivially challenging as well. How was that?
The border was all right.
Was it?
Yeah.
There's enough pieces in there, enough clues as to how that comes together?
Yeah, and we ended up having several gaps in the border, but that was fine because we wanted to be able to slide pieces in and out, so we didn't really need the whole border assembled, and yeah, it worked out all right.
So by the time you guys got all the way through it, were you more relieved to be done, or did it feel like a triumph? So not so much a triumph.
Oh, both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You weren't. Were you high-fiving or just stomping away at the end of that?
No, we high-fived. we felt very happy.
Oh, yeah.
We qualified. We got 18.
Oh, congratulations.
So we were just happy to have qualified.
Oh, yeah.
That was our goal.
Yeah, Karen was my pairs partner at Nationals, and I've said a couple of times on this live stream now that it was a great decision when she made it in, like, I don't know, the early part of her career, because you have been puzzling a year, am I remembering that right?
November.
November, yeah.
Yep.
So it was a great decision when you were slow, and then at some point it was a terrible decision for you, but because you got a whole lot faster. But you were committed, so I appreciate your willingness to be committed. So how did you guys find yourself?
We found ourselves through the Finder spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, the Portland Jigsaw Masters put out a spreadsheet for people to say, are we looking for... Oh, you did.
I did.
Well, that helped us. We were very grateful to have that.
I really just wanted you to say nice things about me is really what I was looking for.
Well, I've been here twice before. It's Karen's first year, but both years I've come with separate other people. So this year I didn't come with anyone else. So I was hoping to do pairs and hoping to do teams. So we're teamed up as well in our teams competition.
Anita, it says you're from Canada.
Yes, Victoria.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, so what drew you to come all the way down here?
I think it's fun to integrate puzzle competitions in vacations. I don't know. I don't live that far. I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm happy to come to Portland. It's a fun place to visit, and yeah, I get to do this too.
Nice. And Karen, you have come from yet even farther, but still within the same country.
That's true. That's true. Maryland, D.C. area.
Yeah, what brought you all the way out to Portland?
I think it was you, actually, and your lovely wife who told me that this was an amazing time and I should definitely come out here, and here I am.
Well, so hopefully we have not lied to you. Are you enjoying it so far?
I had a great time, yeah.
And Anita, you've come here before, so
Yes.
it seems like you're enjoying it well enough. What do you
Yeah.
guys like about this competition?
So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, like Portland Jigsaw Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I think that it's a fun time. I like that. I've met people here. I've made friends, and looking forward to the puzzle social too.
Yeah, which is coming up soon.
Yeah, you don't even need a spreadsheet for the puzzle social. You just show up and hang out. That's really cool.
I mean, I've liked the images that have been in this competition over the years, and this one was hard, but I still like it.
Did you compete earlier today?
Nope.
Okay, so did you see the images from the other puzzles?
Yes.
And which puzzle images did you like the best so far?
So Karen did the first one, and I gave it a try. And I gave it a try between just before this round, and I wasn't able to finish because the coats were extremely difficult.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to try the other one, and I hope that round 3, which I'm in tomorrow, is even better.
Well, we had Katie Dilks, who was in the first round, join us for the second round, and I asked her what her thoughts were on the first round puzzle, and or on the second round puzzle. She's like, "I wish I had that one."
Yeah, It looked a little bit more doable.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, I'm curious. What are you more proud of? Getting into the finals for the Portland Jigsaw Masters, or doing a xylophone solo in front of 10,000 people?
That's a tough one. I mean, it was a great xylophone solo. It was also one-handed for extra difficulty points.
Do you get scored for difficulty?
No, I had a bad wrist, so I had to do the whole thing with one hand. No, but making finals here definitely is better.
Well, I'm glad that you could make a dream come true with Anita here at Portland Jigsaw Masters. Anything else that you guys would like to say before we let you go?
No, just
anybody you want to shout out? Say hey to?
Yeah, I'll shout out my mom, who I came here with 2 years ago, and my friend Selena, who I came here with last year, who couldn't make it this year, and my boyfriend Sean.
Nice.
I'll shout out all my puzzle friends back in Virginia, Warrenton, Maryland, and elsewhere.
Awesome. All right, Karen and Anita, thanks for joining us up
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We'll see you in the finals. And we're just seeing more and more finishers roll in this pairs competition. I'm looking at it. We have 39 pairs finished so far, and that's probably a undercount just because of a refresh. We have 54 pairs in total in order to wrap up this puzzle, and we have about 26 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and we're looking at 3 pairs right now that are within striking distance of being able to pull this off. Trying to see the name in the lower right-hand corner, but I love, you can see this individual keeps really checking the image itself before moving on. It can go a long way. There's Linnea in the lower left waving at us, and we're waving back. The camera's exciting for everybody here. There they are. I couldn't tell which end of the galaxy they were on.
So I believe the lower right-hand corner is maybe Mur and Gur.
Mur and Gur.
Wait, let me see. Hold on. Table 51, that's Penny's Puzzlers. Dan Mack and Rebecca Zucker.
Okay. Well, Dan and Rebecca are doing a really great job here. You can see that they're down to maybe about the last 35, 40 pieces or so. It's probably that center text that's inside of there. I know that's been the zone where a lot of our puzzlers have hit the wall. Just running into that. You can see in the lower left-hand corner a Wild Peace Talks shirt has appeared.
That is amazing. I love that.
Look at the design on that.
I know if the podcast was anywhere as good as the shirt, it would definitely be worth checking out.
I can attest, having listened to all of the podcast episodes, that the Peace Talks podcast is phenomenal. If you are interested at all in competitive jigsaw puzzling, check it out. Rob is able to wrangle some of the top experts in speed puzzling world to chat about their experiences and just have a wonderful time, learn about puzzling and the people behind the pieces. It's just really fantastic.
The people really are amazing. And the whole reason I was able to start that podcast is I was like, it would be fun to talk to some people about puzzling. Starting a podcast would be a great excuse to do it. And I just started reaching out to people, and people were like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, well, you've never heard of me. We've never done anything before. You don't have any reason to believe that this would be good. They're like, sure, it'll be fine. Let's talk. And that's just been the way it's been. Is like ever since we've gotten started, people have just been like happy to come in and give us world-class people tell us all about what they're capable of doing and how they approach it and what they think about it. I've learned so much on this journey. Not the least is that Jim, you've been on twice along with Mari Black. And this last episode, the one that came out just before Portland Jigsaw Masters, like there's definitely a moment where my mind was entirely blown by learning new puzzle things. Like the level of knowledge and depth that you guys go through when you think about puzzles is far beyond anything I could have imagined. And that's one of the great things to learn, is to bring people like you on and understand what there is to know.
It's so much fun, and even just the diversity of thought around puzzling. Because Mari and I
100%.
are very strategic, very cerebral, moment to moment, and then there's lots of puzzlers that are amazing that go purely on vibes, and just kind of go through the puzzle, and it works itself out, and they're fantastic at it. So there's puzzle people for everyone to talk to and learn from.
In the upper right-hand corner, we got Spicy Books and Puzzling Looks, Amanda and Sarah.
Oh wow! And you can see. I think that's Sarah. It might be Amanda, but I think it's Sarah using the Pang perch, that foot up on the chair. I'm going to circle it here. Yeah, has the foot up on a chair over there, so that way it can just lean and get all the pressure from that lower back and not have to stress it too much. Really useful tool for puzzlers that end up having some back pain while they're going, or just for fun because you get to look like a pirate. And who doesn't want to look like a pirate while they're doing some speed puzzling?
I feel like we need some hats, some eye patches. Ooh, eye patches. That would be interesting, like eye patch puzzling.
Now we're talking. It would be interesting. Maybe that'll be for one of the handicap difficulty rounds as you start handing out eye patches for folks.
Well, I was thinking, we have dominant, non-dominant hand training. There is dominant and non-dominant eyes. I wonder if there is anything to be had about non-dominant eye training.
I'm sure we'll find out. You can see in the lower right, Dan and Rebecca making steady progress through that text. They're probably shifting into looking at the backgrounds at this point rather than trying to get the line work set just right. We can't quite see because that box is in the way, but that's okay. The upper left-hand corner, you can see that this is a situation where they've split that pile pretty significantly. So you have pieces that are all around the table. If they've sorted that intentionally in terms of pieces that have a little bit more dark or a little bit more light, then that's going to help them out quite a bit. If it's a case where they've kind of split it around, it might be a little bit of a stumbling block for them, but they are doing an excellent job. You can see that there's an errant pair of pieces over here that's going to need to migrate into the center of the field in order to finish this out as we get ready to cross the hour and 39-minute line. Spicy, the spicy
books and puzzling looks
in the upper right. They are cruising through this. I want to say that I want to remind folks that Sarah started being competitive about 3 years ago and has been in 4 competitions, which is really, really fascinating to be able to do those kinds of competitions in person. I would imagine is the angle there. And I like how their preparation for this one was to do puzzles, which I agree wholeheartedly, super important to do as part of the training regimen.
Step 1, do puzzles.
Yes. And this is not a straightforward image. I know that some of the early pairs were able to get this done well under an hour. As a reminder, those are world-level puzzlers that showed up at the Portland Jigsaw Masters. This is super tricky, and just finishing a puzzle like this in the time limit is an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, a puzzle like this especially.
Oh, yeah. Upper left-hand corner, we can see a pair that is at that point of zero ambiguity. The gaps that they have remaining are all connected, so there's not a random space where a piece could be floating in the middle. Anything they pick up can go in the exact right spot, so we're seeing that acceleration into the end. They're both able to pick up a piece and sink it very rapidly. I wonder if we're going to be able to keep this under the hour 41-minute line. They only have, I think, maybe about 4 or 5 pieces remaining. Sink one more in. Just 2 more remaining. We're at the hour 43. They get it in. Oh, there's a down piece. There's a down piece. Are they going to hunt for it? They have 10 seconds at this stage in order to get it in. Found it in under 4 seconds. A great save of the time detriment. Congratulations.
Looks like some celebrations going on in the upper right-hand corner, or at least some enthusiastic. Maybe that's sort of resetting a cheer, getting the energy reset as they move through and work on probably the letters with the Dutch Brothers coffees. Importantly, right in the middle, so that they can stay fueled and hydrated at the same time. I think that in general we're doing a pretty good job here. We've got a number of people still out in the field. But a lot of people are clearing out. I think that we're seeing a good number of finishers here.
Yeah, on my count, we have at least 42 finishers so far, and again, we have 54 pairs in this round. So it is possible for us to finish. I'm looking around. We have about 18 minutes remaining, and there's not that many pieces left on a lot of the tables. So there is room. There we go, Dan and Rebecca, lower right-hand corner, finishing up this last little bit, and it looks like the Spicy Books and Puzzle Looks have decided to go side by side on this. They're going to be finishing up in the same orientation, which is really, really cool, and it looks like they're coaching each other a little bit. I love that extra bit of communication that can happen between pairs at this stage to make sure that they keep that ball rolling. Oh, wow. Lower left-hand corner. I can't quite make out the table number, but they are doing a really solid job working in towards the center. I know that text has spooked a lot of people. You can see that they've separated that out, so that way it doesn't, those extra pieces with text on it doesn't clog the field up too much. But they are doing really, really well here, and if they can get down to that text in maybe the next 3 minutes or so, they're going to be able to cruise on.
All right, we've got some guests joining us here in the waning minutes of this round. Who wants to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Bree Gabrey. And I'm Erica Larson.
How are you guys doing? So how was this puzzle?
It was hard.
This was a tough one.
It was fun.
Yeah?
I think we were a good team.
Yeah. I was saying this is a puzzle I would do in my downtime on my own at home. Like, it's a beautiful puzzle. Like, if I saw that on the shelf, I would buy it. I would have a really good time doing that one.
Mm-hmm. What attracts you to this puzzle?
I really like these. We're calling it like a collage puzzle. Mm-hmm. It's just a little all over the place. It's pretty. It's just really
we were talking to the artist earlier, and she calls it a collage as well. And it sounds like this is one of her simpler puzzles. So they get more complex from there. But it sounds like actually it's pretty. The rest of her line might be well in your wheelhouse because it's a much more like spend some time, really get into it. A lot of interesting parts to this puzzle. How was it to speed puzzle?
It was tough to speed puzzle. The border I'm usually in charge of the border, and a lot of the pieces, they don't snap into place. They just snuggle up next to each other. And so those ones always get me. But I think we did a good job getting at least chunks of the border. She did the letters in the middle.
Yeah, we are half of a team that will be participating tomorrow. And so my sister is on the other half of that also did it, and they said that looking around, most people left the words for last, which you guys have we did the words fairly early on, which I think helped.
She did the words early on.
I did the words fairly early on, which I think helped us anchor and build around them, because this was a puzzle that we definitely needed to build into rather than doing chunks of. And so I did the pink sleeve first, and then after that did the words and kept kind of jumping around and doing other things and coming back to the words. And I think having the words done in a chunk fairly early on in the puzzle helped us anchor the rest.
Are you a words master in general? Like, what
I
drew you
typically
to...
go for words.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you're not thrown by the fact that words are, like, the piece size relative to the words is...
No, I like doing words. I'm like a borders and then words is typically what I do. That's what I did with the individual earlier today.
So you had the words stood up and you had some of the borders stood up?
Yep.
Yeah, and so that seems like that would create a good interior space in which to work.
Yeah.
And then once you had like the arm maybe connecting right into the words, that seems like you're creating some nice space in which to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of repeat patterns and objects in here, though, that made this really tough, where normally I feel like we'd be able to lay the pieces down and then build off of that. We couldn't do it as well. Not as easy with this one.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that got you?
You have 14
I was,
minutes
at
remaining
first,
in the
I saw
round. Keep
the
puzzling
green,
fast. We're
and
rooting
so I was
for you.
pulling green and then realized how many leaves there are.
There are a lot.
It was like, oh yeah, not going to be able to. We had to switch up our tactic.
Yeah.
It's not going to be able to build out that
Same
way.
with all of the arms and like having a few chunks of like white sleeve. Those were a little tricky.
Yeah, we were hearing that the arms maybe didn't look as distinct from each other, or distinct even from the background. Is that right?
Yeah, that was tricky. And we did focus, especially towards the end, on the shading of that it was lighter on one side and darker on the other side. But it was tricky to get. A lot of the skin tone was similar between the arms. Yeah.
And so, how did you guys end up doing in terms of placement?
Honestly, Dead Reckoning.
Yeah. Dead Reckoning and
A lot of
some
just-
chaos.
It was a lot of like looking and then putting a piece kind of where it was going to go.
So the challenge I always have with that, and I'm by no means an expert at really anything, but like keeping the pieces so they don't drift around once you place them. Like, how do you manage that? Is that just a skill that you've developed, or do you have to constantly wrangle things back into place, or do you guys just not?
There was some constant wrangling.
There was some wrangling. I think we did a good job when we were doing the Dead Reckoning. I think we lucked out, actually, that they ended up being pretty close to spot on where they needed to be.
And I think having for the most part, we didn't put a puzzle or a piece into the puzzle space until it connected to another piece. Like we would find two that went together and then put the two of them in, and even if they were kind of floating, there was enough to attach them quickly. I mean, we were not that fast, but
no.
Now, are you guys a pair usually, or did you come together for this specifically, or what is your relationship?
So we started speed puzzling a year ago this summer. So we're fairly new to the game.
Yes, we are.
And we started as a team of 4.
Yep.
We actually have 5 of us that kind of rotate.
Yep.
So our team is the Mother Puzzlers.
Oh yeah.
And we go to the here in Portland the People's Court
on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, Tuesday nights.
That's where we started about a year ago. Coming.
The first time we did it, we got second place, and oh man.
And you were hooked from there?
We were like, oh man, we're actually not terrible.
I couldn't sleep that night. We had so much adrenaline pumping. I was like, oh my gosh, we are so cool, and we're maybe not so cool, but we feel cool.
No, we feel you're cool.
It was awesome. But yeah, we've really just been doing it for fun, but we get together pretty frequently for puzzle practice and puzzle club, and just go over to our friend's house and we'll do like 3 or 4 puzzles in a night sometimes. So we're just like exhausted.
Wow.
by the
And
time we
how
go
often
home.
are you doing this?
Once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple times a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's real commitment.
It's it is our main hobby these days.
And we try different brands. We do different styles. Like there's fur, like animals and stuff, little critters. Those can be really tough. But we'll do like, let's do a gradient puzzle. Let's do this type. So we try to switch it up to work on our strengths and our weaknesses. And yeah.
Did you have goals coming into this competition as a pair?
Mostly just to finish.
Don't finish last.
Don't finish
Don't-
last.
yeah.
I mean, we did it. We finished. We would have really liked to make it to finals. We just barely were edged out.
I mean, you were just barely edged
33rd, I
out,
think.
right?
Yeah. So we came close, but the other half of our team made it to finals, which I think it was appropriate. So for this, they took the mother puzzler's name, and we named ourselves the dead weights.
Yes.
we are the slower half of the 4.
And it's not a low confidence thing. It's just an acceptance of.
Yeah, but
they're the stronger puzzlers, but we just have so much fun doing this.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I was gonna say, are you having a good time at this competition?
So much fun. Yeah.
This is my first time doing this specific competition. You
I didn't do it last year.
You
either.
didn't do it. Okay.
I was out of town.
I was watching the live stream before I showed up today and was like, oh my gosh, this is so much more legit than I expected. I was like, they're live streaming. There's commentators. Like this is above and beyond some of
go
the
all
other
out
competitions
here.
we've
Yeah,
done. This
it's
is
really
amazing.
it's really fun to be part of.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm glad you're having a good time. So then you're on to teams.
Yep.
Tomorrow. So any goals for the teams now that you're bringing the non-dead weight part of the team?
I
The
mean,
lifesavers.
Just to have fun, really.
Yeah, just have fun.
Yeah, do the best we can, but
You seem like you're really good at having fun. It seems
Yeah.
like you have the right attitude for this whole
Wait,
thing.
I also we should maybe change our name from Deadweights to the Personality Hires. There we go. We're here to have a good time.
That is probably more appropriate. We are fun.
Cool.
Well, and that's 90% of the battle. If you're
Right.
having fun, you've already won that game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right, looks like we're coming up into the last 9 minutes. Anything that you guys want to say before we let you go?
We're just so happy to be here. This is great.
I'm happy to have you up here. This is the little burst of joy. That was great.
And thank you to everyone who's helped put this on, all the volunteers, you guys. We recognize we wouldn't have the ability to come do something like this if there wasn't a lot of work going into it. So we appreciate everyone who's put a lot into it.
You just
Great
need to
artist
follow us
platform,
along.
yeah.
Follow us around. Say those things.
We'll follow you.
That's what you were saying.
I was going to say also, I really like the art and artists that you guys have on display here. This has been really nice. Bought a couple things and having a good time. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Now, speaking of local puzzlers, Sean and Rachel.
Hey.
Hey.
The bride just married, the trophy husband, together in puzzling.
These guys are so filled. They're so joyful. They bring happiness everywhere they go. They're so supportive of the community and everybody around them. It's great to see them finish. And actually, I don't want to speak for them, but I think that finishing is actually in the scope of goals for them. Is like getting the puzzle done in the time.
We can see, we saw for a second there in the upper right-hand corner, that's the pair, if we fits, we sits, Amy and Tina closing out the last little bit. We have about 7 minutes remaining in this round, and they are so close to being able to pull this off. Along with this other pair here, they are so close. They are at zero ambiguity. There's no big gaps here that would cause them to lose a piece somewhere in the middle. So anything they pick up, they could brute force it from here on out. They have about 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, and maybe only about 15, 20 pieces or so, less than that. They're going to be able to pull this off, which is really exciting.
Totally, yeah.
Oh, wow. And then, in the name of the puzzle, they can go over to happy hour.
That's right. Immediately following this is happy hour. So they're just giving themselves incentive at this point. They will have done a themed puzzle. They will have nailed it, and then they can go off and actually experience it.
In the chat, we do have a comment from Kay Torrance. 8870 saying, I'm behind a couple of podcasts, Rob, but hearing Jim has heard them all, I'm pumped to catch up. So get on them. Ashley Bromley is saying hi. And it's just such a wonderful atmosphere. And this half of the piece peckers is closing out the last little bit. Just a tongue twister from top to bottom. We are checking them out. Here they go. You can see that they're trying to get all their eggs together in one basket on this puzzle. They're down to the last 3 pieces. There's 2 remaining. They rotate them in, almost simultaneous finish. There it is.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That did look like a little bit of piece ballet. Looks like they missed a piece and they
there's
got
one
it.
done. Okay, there it is. Congratulations. I don't know if the camera will show it, but we do have somebody in a chicken suit following them around.
We do, yes. I've noticed this chicken wandering about over the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know if the cameras have caught him yet, but hopefully we can get that to be shown here. Oh, I'm gonna make the quick 5-minute warning here.
Excellent. Meanwhile, we're looking at 3 other tables here.
All right, puzzlers, we are just under 5 minutes remaining. Finish strong. We're rooting for you. You can do this.
There's something that you don't typically see is a spatula. Spatula is not allowed in the rules of most competitions, so you don't typically see the kinds of devices that allow you to scoop and carry, but there we go.
And they are cooking up a storm right now. They are into the last little bits of the text on the happy hour. The fact that they were able to get that center line almost totally locked through means it's going to be easier to do the shape work on either end of that. I'm excited to see if that spatula comes into play here at the last little bit. Are they going to?
I think we're past spatula time, unfortunately.
Oh, there it is!
Oh,
there it is! Spatula! We have spatula action! Pulling out those pieces that were in the middle. A brilliant move because they knew that because random cuts are so tricky to pull out, they used the spatula to chisel those 4 pieces out
I
from
feel
the
like
center.
you just willed that into being.
Oh my! I've never been happier than in this moment, seeing spatulas happen. This is just pure spatula action right there. It happened in real time. We have about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left for them to sink the remaining pieces in. Did we catch the pair name that's on here?
No.
Oh, okay. Hopefully we can find that.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's Amy. Oh, it's if we fits we sits. It's Amy and Tina with that spatula. That might be their table mascot going forward. Amy loading it up again, slides it in. Amy using that spatula like a pro, sinks those pieces in one big group. There are now only 6 pieces remaining, and they can use 0 ambiguity tactics, just shape work to finish this up. After that spatula set them up for success.
I like that she really did use it like a pro because there was no
hesitation.
No hesitation. It went right where it was supposed to be. It looked like they practiced that forever.
That wield the spatula like a champion. That was phenomenal. That if that doesn't make a supercut in puzzling at some point, I'm going to be really disappointed. That was a high level move to be able to do that. Wildly impressive. We have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this competition. You can see in the lower right-hand corner the room pretty thinned out at this stage. We may not be able to totally clear the room, but gosh darn it, we are coming real close. We have had 47 finishers so far. I wonder if we are going to be able to get one more pair in under the deadline. We can see in the upper left-hand corner, also the lower left, trying to get the names here. We're going to try to zoom in a little bit. The upper right, same situation, but they are doing such a good job here. They are almost whittled down just to that text. This is genuinely a difficult puzzle for a lot of folks to try to dig through. There we go.
So Fusako Piece Keiko.
Yes, with the pair being Fusako and Keiko doing a great job here to try to get through the rest of this. That background is really difficult, and they have several pieces that are locked together. You can see over here on the right, they do have those red chunks locked in together, and they also have at the bottom of the puzzle several little chunks that may not be interlocked into the main part of the puzzle, but they're ready to be airdropped in as soon as it's available in the field. But it's so tricky at this stage, and we only have about 1 minute remaining in the competition.
And having those pieces locked together is important, because if they don't end up completing the puzzle in the time, then every piece assembled matters. So if you get two pieces connected to each other, then that counts as being assembled, and you are judged by how many pieces you have remaining.
Yeah, so for the teams that are, or for the pairs that are left, every one of those pieces ends up being towards the final count that can affect your ranking. They are doing such a good job. I like the intensity that they both have at this point. You can see that they're both hyper focused coming in on the last 25 seconds in this competition. Are they going to be able to get just those 5 more pieces in as they wrap this up? You can see that they've separated it into pieces that have a little bit more orange versus a little bit more red, and now they're trying to really iron out those last little bits of orange. There's 10 seconds remaining, and Lane is coming up to give us the countdown.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. Woo!
Congratulations to all of our puzzlers in this
Congratulations to everyone.
Wonderful.
Nice job, everybody.
All right, we're going to come by and we're going to count the puzzle pieces you have left. And this will conclude today's PJM. We also got, don't forget about Spirit 77. We have a great social over there. Look forward to heading over.
All right, and this, as Lane said, concludes the end of our puzzling day. Thank you if you've been listening to us or watching us for this whole time. Thank you for joining us. It has been our pleasure to serve you. Thank you to all of the people who helped put on this competition, Portland Puzzle Company, who puts on the competition, all the other vendors who have joined us here, people who've supported us, the volunteers, and of course, the inimitable Jim Eakins. Jim, thanks once again for powering us through yet another amazing competition where we got to see some really great puzzling and some really great people.
Thank you so much, and a huge shout out to the indispensable, the magnificent, the ridiculously good-looking Rob Shields.
You know a different Rob Shields than I do, but thanks.
How you've helped make all of this come together is nothing short of miraculous. So thank you for that. This is really wonderful, and congratulations to all the puzzlers today.
Absolutely. And so tune in tomorrow morning. I believe things start up again at 9 Pacific time. We will try desperately to have our pre-show starting at 10 to 9, where we will have special guests on every single one of the streams. So tune in and join us then. Until then, good luck and good puzzling.
See you next time, everybody.
Inspired by today's competition? Whether you puzzle to relax or race against the clock, Puzzle Warehouse has the largest selection of jigsaw puzzles in the world. Explore more than 10,000 puzzle designs from over 100 brands. There's new arrivals added daily and plenty of puzzles on sale. Visit puzzlewarehouse.com and find your next favorite puzzle. Warning, visiting puzzlewarehouse.com may lead to excessive puzzling. Common side effects include permanently occupied kitchen tables, neglected household chores, sore backs, and repeatedly saying, "I'll go to bed after this section." Additional shelving may be required.